Everybody, welcome back to the Seesaw and another week of meals. So we're starting this week with a pasta supper. I just thought I'd show you the ingredients and how simple this is to put together, in case you want to try something like this at home. So we're calling it chicken and bows because it's bow tie pasta, but you could use any kind of pasta. So you want a 500 gram, is that a 500 gram bag? I think it is. Yes, a 500 gram bag of any kind of short pasta. So you could use shells, you could use fusilli, kind of the swirly pasta, little penne, anything like that. You want to cook that up in following the package directions. And while that's cooking, you want to take some chicken that you've sliced up into small pieces. So I'm using the mini fillets just to give me a head start on that. I'll probably cut each one into two. And I've got 2 packs because this is the sort of meal that if you use a whole bag of pasta and the ingredient levels that I'm going to show you, you could do enough if you've got, if you're just feeding 2 or 3 people, you could do enough to do a casserole for dinner tonight and then put the other half into the freezer. And it's really easy to cook from frozen. You just basically defrost it in the fridge overnight and then heat it through in the microwave for kind of 8 to 10 minutes, covered in the microwave to heat a whole casserole, or just pop it back in the oven for 20 minutes to heat through. So it is a really simple one to freeze. If you're just cooking for 1 or 2 and you don't need as much food, you could break it down into 2 or 3 servings. If you've got a bigger family, then this would probably feed, I don't know, up to, it depends on the appetites in the family. So Tony's laughing because he thinks this will feed me and him and Caleb. But depends on the appetites in the family. You could easily feed, with kind of smaller children, 6 to 8, I would say, with this dish, just as it is. So again, you get your whole bag of pasta cooking, and then you want to use chicken and chop it up into small pieces. So either chop up some chicken breasts, use some diced chicken, or you can do like I've done here and got the mini fillets, which I'm going to cut into pieces. You want to cook that with a chopped pepper. I'm going to use a red one. In a little bit of combination of butter and oil for about 10 minutes. Just you want the chicken fully cooked through. And then once it's cooked through, you stir in 2 cans of the condensed cream of chicken soup. Now I always use the Campbell's one, which is the American classic. There are other types of soup that do condensed, but I just find these really work for me because they're the flavours I'm used to from when I lived in the States, and these sorts of things get used quite a lot in cooking. So the Tesco's, Sainsbury's near us both carry these in a number of different flavours. So I've picked up 2 of the cream of chicken. You could use 1 chicken and 1 mushroom if you wanted to. So you add that in once the chicken and peppers are cooked through. You also add a couple of really big handfuls of frozen peas. You want a 1.5 cups of milk. I've got semi-skimmed. You could use whole milk if that's what you have at your house. You want a teaspoon of garlic granules, a good sprinkle of pepper. I'm not adding any salt because the chicken soup has salt in it, so I don't need to add any of that. Bring that up to a boil and just kind of stir it around and let it cook for just a couple of minutes, just to heat the sauce all the way through. And then the final step is just to stir through some grated Parmesan, or I'm using the Grana Padano, and I'm going to use a couple of these measures of that in there, which is a 1/3 cup, so that would be 2/3 of a cup of grated Parmesan stirred through. And that is it. It's all done in one. Once you cook the pasta, it's all sort of done in one pot. And it's really simple, probably 25 to 30 minutes on the table. Maybe that includes waiting for your pasta water to boil. So definitely encourage you to give this one a try. Family friendly. You can put whatever vegetables you like in with it. And I will come back when it's done and show you the finished meal. But I just wanted to show you how simple this one is to prepare. Okay, so 20-ish minutes later, and there is our big bowl of finished pasta, chicken and bows. It just is that simple to pull together. As I was making it, I was thinking it would be really good with some mushrooms in it as well. I haven't used onion in this, just because I usually use onion to give flavour rather than to have pieces of onion, unless I'm having like fried onions on something, or sautéed onions or something. And because you're using the chicken soup, you don't really need as much of that kind of background flavour. So the only flavourings I've added are some garlic powder and some and black pepper, because the chicken soup has got everything else you need in it. So that is, you can see that's my big Dutch oven there, my big casserole dish, and it is almost full. So this is a meal where I would definitely recommend making a full package of pasta, and then you could even take this out and put it into like takeaway containers as individual servings and put it in the freezer. It freezes really well, and as I say, all you want to do when you're ready to eat it is defrost it in the fridge overnight and then just heat it through in the microwave, because everything is cooked. So all you're doing is heating it back up, which the microwave is ideal for that. But if you did want to pop it back in the oven, like just pop it into a casserole dish and put it back in the oven, although it has never been in the oven, so it would perhaps create a little bit of a different texture. It might go a bit drier. But definitely this one is one that would be perfect for just heating in the microwave on a busy night, and you've got a nice hearty casserole back on the table. So definitely recommend giving this one a try. Something a bit different with pasta. There's Caleb's bowl all ready to go. I will just sprinkle a little bit more cheese. It's our house, of course, there's cheese involved, and it just has the Parmesan stirred through it, so it's not got other cheese in it, just the Parmesan. So I will put a little bit of cheddar, I think, over the top of this, just to give it another cheesiness, another layer of cheesiness, which is what we're all about at this house. So anyway, we're off to enjoy this on a Monday night. I hope this is one that you'll give a try too. I don't always show the process for everything that we make, obviously, because these videos would be a mile long. But I just thought this one, when you're trying to put a quick and simple supper together, is an ideal one to use. And I might use the footage from this one without my voice on. I'm planning to put together a little series, a little set of videos of just ideal, quick and simple, family-friendly meals. And this was definitely one that I would feature in that. So off to enjoy this to start out another week. Hi everybody, so it's Tuesday evening, and tonight we've got Chinese, slow-cooked Chinese-style pork with some stir-fry vegetables and some basmati rice. So this was just pork fillet, you know, the long strip pork tenderloin as it gets called in the United States. Took one of those, I rubbed it with a mixture. I just combined some brown sugar with some garlic powder and ginger powder, ground ginger, and just combined that together and rubbed it over the pork. In the bottom of the crock pot I put chopped onion and some chopped peppers, put the pork on top of that, and then I just made a sauce out of some passata, some soy sauce, some hoisin, a tablespoon of corn flour just to thicken it up, a little drop of sesame oil and some Chinese 5-spice powder. Combined that all together, poured it over the pork and just left it to cook all day. So then when I got home tonight, I just shredded up the pork and added a little bit more passata in, because if I'd have been home earlier, I would have turned it off a lot earlier, so it would have been still quite saucy, but the sauce has kind of gone into the pork, so it's still really tasty, but it's not as saucy as I would have had it otherwise. So I did add a little bit more passata just to kind of loosen it up a little bit. But that is our Tuesday night Chinese style pork, slow cooked pork with basmati rice and stir fry veg. Hi everybody, so it is Wednesday evening, and tonight we've got quite an autumny classic, campfire stew. If you've ever followed Slimming World, you will know campfire stew. It's a really simple casserole that you do in the slow cooker. So you just put a gammon joint in the slow cooker. I always use unsmoked for this. I tend to use unsmoked anyway because we don't particularly like anything that has any kind of salty taste to it. But particularly for this, you want to use an unsmoked gammon joint. Pop that in your slow cooker with some chopped onions and peppers, 2 cans of baked beans, a few good squirts of tomato puree, and I used a little bit of passata as well to give it a nice, so it went down into a really nice sauce rather than just a thickness. Just can't speak tonight. I have no idea what I meant by that, but hopefully you'll get the picture that I didn't want it just all thick. I wanted a little bit of sauciness to it. And then I added chili powder and smoked paprika and a little bit of garlic powder, just to give it some seasoning. Popped the lid on, left it all day while we were at work, and then the gammon just falls apart, and you've got the baked beans, peppers and onions, and the tomatoey kind of sauce in the bottom there. And I'm having that with baked potato and some grated cheese. So that is our autumny, very autumny campfire stew for a Wednesday night. Hi everybody, so it's Thursday evening and tonight we've just got a basic lasagna with some of the Aldi cheesy garlic pizza bread. So this is just it's just a basic lasagna. I made up a bolognese sauce with mince, onion, mushroom, carrot, stock, some seasonings and some tomato puree. Let that bubble away for a little while. I made a white sauce, just an all-in-one, so an ounce or 25 grams each of flour and butter and 450 mils of milk. Just put everything in the pan together and whisked it until the butter melted. It all went smooth and it started to thicken. And then I stirred through a couple of really nice handfuls of cheddar cheese, some seasoning. I put a little bit of mustard powder and some black pepper in with it. Then I just layered up 2 simple layers. So I did sauce, meat sauce, pasta, meat sauce, pasta, and then I poured the cheese sauce all over the top. And then a little sprinkle more of cheese on top of that. And then baked it in the oven for 35 minutes at 200 degrees. So a really simple lasagna, this one. It's only got 2 layers. And the cheesiness is all over the top. It's not kind of layered up through it. But again, I have several different versions of go-to lasagna that I make. Just depends on what I feel like doing on the day and how much time I've got. But it's getting late. Caleb's eating with us tonight, so I wanted to get this on the table as quickly as I could. So that is Caleb's and that is mine. I'm going to have one of my colleagues has been growing vegetables in lockdown and has a glut of tomatoes. So she bought some nice fresh tomatoes in for me today. So I'm going to have a couple of those chopped up on the side of mine, although there are plenty of vegetables in the lasagna. So off to enjoy this on a Thursday night. Hi everybody, so it's Friday night and we're having buffalo chicken tonight. So this is our regular kind of flavoured rice. This is Caleb's favourite rice now, which has it's just rice cooked with chicken broth, a little bit of turmeric and a little bit of curry powder. And then we've got some steamed vegetables, and then the chicken is just, so back when I lived in the States, I used to make a buffalo chicken dip that was very similar to this with the chicken all shredded up. So this is just chicken breasts, and on top of it I layered a mixture of, I used 8 ounces of cream cheese. I mixed that with a 1/4 cup of hot sauce, so we use the Frank's. We don't like the wing sauce because it's too salty, but this is just the regular hot sauce. And then I added a good handful of cheddar cheese and a mixture of, again, if I was in the States, I would have used ranch dressing mix, but I didn't have that. So I've just used a combination of garlic powder, onion powder, parsley, I think, and some black pepper. Mixed that all together, layered it, spread it over the top of the chicken, sprinkled a little bit more grated cheese on top of that, and popped it in a 180 oven for about 35 minutes. So the cream cheese obviously all melts and you get this kind of buffalo cheesy sauce around the chicken, which is really yummy. And then we're just having some tortilla chips just to swoop up the rest of the sauce afterwards. So that is our Friday night supper. Hi everybody, so it's Saturday night and tonight we're having a family favourite. It's the chicken thighs, which this time I've just seasoned them with the smoky barbecue seasoning. That is this one. I use different things. Sometimes use jerk chicken seasoning, sometimes Cajun, sometimes peri-peri. But we've gone with the barbecue tonight. I've got the little diced potatoes that we do in the active fryer. We've got some lettuce, tomato, cucumber. I've got some pickled cabbage and pickled onions. We've got a little bit of the sour cream and chive dip. And we've got my favourite flatbreads, which are the big fluffy puffy flatbreads. So that is mine, that is Caleb's. He has everything except the pickles and tomatoes. So we're looking forward to this for a Saturday night. We've had a busy day of football, and then Caleb had one of his oldest friends from nursery school around for the afternoon. We went for a lovely walk through our nature reserve, and then his friend got to stay at ours for a little while and play. So they hadn't seen each other for a while, so that was quite nice. So now we're getting ready to enjoy this to end our Saturday. Hi everybody, I just wanted to share a quick and simple little lunch I'm making with you today, because this is a really simple 5 minutes and you're done. And if you like that kind of chorizo and prawn sort of flavouring combination, then this is really yummy. So in here I've got a small pack of cooked peeled prawns. I think it was about 150 grams. I've got half of a small pack of diced chorizo, so that is, I think the pack itself is 150 grams, so it's about 75 grams of diced chorizo. And then to that I'm going to add this, which is a pack of the microwave rice. This happens to be the Tilda Peri Peri one, but you could use absolutely any of the microwave rice packs that you like, the flavours that you like. It would be good with just a nice kind of pilau rice, some seasoned rice, but anything that's microwavable, a mushroom rice, really just the options are endless. You're just going to add that into your bowl, mix it all around, put some cling film over the top, and just microwave it for between 2 and 3 minutes. That's all it needs. When it comes out, you give it a good stir and it's ready to put on the plate. Really quick, really simple, something that you could easily take to work. If you've got a microwave available at work, you could just mix it all together before you go into a microwavable pot and then just heat it through for 2 to 3 minutes. And probably from one thing of rice, you'd have enough for 2 days of lunch. So I'll cook it and then I'll just show you how it looks when it's finished. And there you go. 3 minutes later, and I've got this delicious savoury spicy rice with the pieces of chorizo and the nice fresh prawns in there. Really looking forward to having this for lunch today, and I'm just going to have it with one of the leftovers of our favourite little flatbreads. These are the Deli Kitchen flatbreads that are really fluffy, so I'm going to have that on the side and half of this, and then I'll keep the other half to have for lunch at work tomorrow. Hi everybody, it's Sunday evening and we're rounding off the week this week with a creamy mustard pork with rice and carrots. So this is pork fillet, pork tenderloin. I've just sliced really thin. I cooked it in a skillet. I had 2 of them because one wouldn't have been enough for the 3 of us. So I used 2. So I cooked it in a skillet for about 10 minutes until the meat was just about cooked through in a little bit of olive oil. Then I added some sliced onion and some sliced mushrooms to the pan and let it cook for another probably 5 or 6 minutes, just until the vegetables were cooked through. And then finally I added in a tablespoon of whole grain mustard and 200 ml of creme fraiche. And you just want to mix it until the creme fraiche just breaks down into a kind of saucy texture. You don't want to let it go too far or you could split it. I'm not sure if creme fraiche splits actually, but I know if you let it go too far it'll just get cloggy. Yeah, really simple, half an hour kind of meal for a Sunday, but using a nice piece of pork, so really tasty, and the mustard adds flavour. Oh, I did add a bit of garlic with the a couple of cloves of crushed garlic with the onions and mushrooms as well. So it all comes together quite quickly. While that was cooking, I cooked some plain white rice and steamed some carrots, and so that is our Sunday night supper. I always think anything in a cream sauce, it's quite difficult to make it look attractive on the plate. But it is really tasty, I can guarantee that. I've had a taste already. So that is mine, and that is Caleb's. I've just pulled the meat out for him because he's not keen on onions or mushrooms, but he will eat the carrots. So that's his, and there's plenty left for Toney to make up his bowl. So that's our Sunday night dinner, creamy mustard pork with rice and carrots. Thank you for joining us for this week of meals, and we look forward to seeing you back here on the SeeSaw soon.